I'm your course instructor, Mr. Jowsey, and I will be leading you on your discoveries as we investigate our living world. From the largest biomes of our biosphere to the workings of cells, this course in biology will focus on 5 main units. They are ecosystems, molecular biology, structure and function of living things, DNA and genetics, and evolution and classification. Many of you are taking biology class because it's required for your graduation from high school. Some of you may be taking it because you have a genuine curiosity about our living world. Whatever your reasons for taking this class, there are some things you can do to help ensure success in learning, success in the gradebook, and success on the final exam. Please take the time to pause the video and read the tips for success posted on the board. Now that we've taken care of that, let's dive right in. Most probably the best way to begin our investigation into our living world is to discuss what living things are. And so we begin with characteristics of living things. When you look at something, how do you know whether it is a living thing and considered biotic, or whether it's a non-living thing and considered abiotic? Undoubtedly, you would look at certain things to make that determination. If we look in our aquarium and try to determine if something is alive, we might look to see if it moves or grows. We might look to see if it eats or perhaps responds to a noise. All of these things are considered characteristics of living things. When scientists determine whether something is living or non-living, they look at 6 characteristics that living things have in common. Press pause on the video to fill in your characteristics of living things notes from the slide shown on the board. We resume now by delving a little deeper into each characteristic. As we do, think of each topic as a preview of what we'll be studying throughout this semester. First, all living things are made of one or more cells. Cells are in fact the basic unit of structure and function in all living things. And the cell structure or form determines the cell's function or what it does. Next characteristic. Living things must be able to organize from simple substances and cells into complex substances and organisms. Consider the following limerick to help you remember the levels of organization of living things. Old crabby teachers offer outstanding students wonderful opportunities. The first letter of each word corresponds to the first letter of each level of organization of living things. These are: organelles make up cells. Cells make tissues. Tissues make organs. Organs make organ systems. And organ systems make whole organisms. Press pause as you need to so you can continue to fill in your notes worksheet. The next characteristic that living things share is that living things produce offspring. That is to say, they create new organisms to their kind either by asexual or sexual reproduction. Now, it is true that living organisms do not have to reproduce to survive, but reproduction is important because if enough organisms within a species do not reproduce, that species' population would decline and could face possible extinction. I have a question, Mr. Jowsey. And what is that, young lady? You mentioned species several times. What is a species? Excellent question, Tiffany. A species is a group of like organisms that can mate and produce fertile offspring. Consider, if you will, the Z-donk. The Z-donk is a cross between a donkey and a zebra. The Z-donk is not fertile, however. It is sterile. Therefore, its parents, the donkey and the zebra, are considered different species. Moving on to the next characteristic of living things. Living things grow and develop. Growth is any increase in tissue and the formation of new structures in an organism, while development is any changes that occur during an organism's lifetime. The next characteristic shared by living things: living things respond and adapt to changes in the environment. A stimulus is an environmental change that influences the activity of an organism, while a response is an organism's reaction to that change in the environment. When an organism responds to a stimuli, it does so to maintain homeostasis. And homeostasis is an organism's ability to maintain internal balance, sometimes called dynamic equilibrium. An adaptation is a change to an organism that increases its chance of survival. Another concept we will talk about this semester is how species change over time. Evolution is a change in a species over a long period of time. Press pause in the video as you need so you can fill in your notes. The last characteristic that living things share is that they use or produce energy. Living things must have and or make energy to reproduce, grow, and develop, and to adjust to environmental changes. That ends your notes for today. In this lesson, we've accomplished a couple of things. First, we've identified and scratched the surface on the characteristics that all living things have in common. Secondly, we have laid out a blueprint of all we will study this semester. For homework, please read your Chapter 1-1 Characteristics of Living Things packet, highlight important information, and answer all questions given. The answer key for your vocabulary will be posted on Canvas. Use it to complete the vocab section of your packet. We will go over the review questions at the end of your packet in our next class. Try these questions before we do. Be safe, make good choices, and I'll see you next time.